Coming up in today's program, sculpting in Madagascar, painting against all odds in Gaza, and fighting for balance in China. But first, Artsworld visits Colombia to get an insider's perspective on the country's art scene.
Hello and welcome to Artsworld. My name is Maria Marquez and I am a television presenter here in Bogota. We are now in La Candelaria, a downtown barrio, where, as in so many centers in the world, art happens. El Colegio del Cuerpo, the Body School, is a dance project based in Cartagena, a city that embodies painful contrasts.
One day, a friend invited me to a cultural fair at our local newspaper. There, I saw a contemporary dance company directed by Álvaro Restrepo. When I saw them on stage, I had a revelation. Perhaps this is what I am, and what I have been all my life.
8, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I'm Álvaro Restrepo, dancer, choreographer, and educator. I'm also founder and director of El Colegio del Cuerpo, the Body School in Cartagena de Indias. The students at the Body School are mostly young kids from Cartagena, who come from the deeper Cartagena. They are youth who have made up their minds to live this way, to take this path for their personal and professional fulfillment.
Those kids who have the talent and the desire will find an opportunity here to take on a trade, to find an artistic life and a career, and to change their life conditions.
Cartagena is a city with many social spheres, levels, and contrasts.
Today, there are 1 million inhabitants in Cartagena. We hear that 70% of the population is living under the poverty line. This means 700,000 people are living in very precarious situations. The Body School is my response to our country's situation. It is also a way of proposing a new vision of education, of the joy of discovering a vocation at an early age and learning how to associate discipline with pleasure.
I realized there was an opportunity for me to become a professional dancer. Finding the chance to open this window made me aware that there are no limits, that things may happen, and you just need an opportunity to access this.
Something that struck my attention about the Body School was precisely the body. Everything was focused on thinking about the body as a heritage, as the place where life occurs, as a notion of wealth. I like this very much about the Body School.
I think this work is about being, about one's own body. When a person is conscious that the body is a phenomenal instrument, the body itself is the key to go beyond.
To gain the capacity to understand that being creative refers not only to the dance studio, but also to his life. To search for creative solutions to change his own life by himself.
For me, the encounter and the aperture I was given at the Body School have been really marvelous, because I have evidently become a citizen of the world, not just local, not partial or discriminating. Quite the opposite. I sort of realized the world is for everyone.
Now I am the owner of my reality, and it's like taking over the world. It's an invaluable security. These are things you cannot ponder or measure. These things are experienced, felt. So it's like a self-acknowledgement of possibilities and qualities I didn't know I had.
Now I am a multiplier of this experience, perhaps capturing other youths like I was captured at some points, and offering them an option for professional and human fulfillment through dance.
Here, we are fundamentally sculpting an individual, but we are also sculpting a society. We are speaking of the individual body, but of course, of an individual who is immersed in society. So we speak of the social body.
Life as we know it today was also once a dream, no? So it is fair to keep dreaming of a different society, with a different human being.
On the other side of the world, in Madagascar, an artist is doing his bit to beautify his hometown.
My name is Ratsamanana Anjane. I've been living in Antananarivo for 47 years and I'm a sculptor and a painter. The city of Antananarivo is right in the middle of the island. It's a melting pot for all of Madagascar. Tana, that's what we call it for short, is beautiful. It has everything that can be seen in Madagascar. Big buildings, forestry, rice paddies and rivers. Sometimes that diversity creates a conflict, each competing for space. The island, my home, is one of the poorest countries in the world. The government cannot manage the poverty in the city. People come here from the country with nothing, and the government does nothing for them. This tunnel used to be filled with homeless people. Every night they slept here and walked down to the market to sell what they had in the morning. The government said they wanted to clean it up, so they asked me to design something to make it more beautiful. They put in lights and now no one sleeps here. My work represents the people who used to sleep here. Many of them have since managed to get themselves off the streets. But it's not because of me or the government. They've done it themselves. If they have one thing to sell, they try and try until it sells. Sometimes I feel that what I do, my craft and my talent, has been used to hide what is wrong in this city. The tunnel was no good and needs to be rebuilt, but the government would rather I just try and make it look better rather than spending money on real infrastructure. I like sculpture because of its volume. I learnt it by myself, looking at my own portrait in the mirror. I thought it was very interesting and it became my passion. The most exciting sculptures are those which make the people cry. I recently made a portrait of Rad. He's a poet who died recently, and his family all cried. I have made 400 sculptures for the government. Maybe only 6 are displayed in the open air for the people, but many of my personal works can be found on display around the city. The works made for the government are representative of the people, not our politicians. I made one that sits at the heart of the city to highlight the problem of AIDS. I think it's a hopeful piece. In Tana, art is considered a huge thing. Artists are important people here. As I see it, we should make as much art and crafts as we can. This project is my contribution for poor people. I started it in 2005. I started working with deaf children, children who can't hear and who can't talk. They all had 1 month of arts training. All of them learnt a skill, and I realized then some of them really could become artists. I moved here and called on my neighbors to help contribute to women and poor people who wanted to become artists. I gave them all the materials they needed. Then, when I saw their work and saw what they did, I applied for permission from the authorities to sell their products in the town center. so we got lots of money from that time. After that, more people came. Women came with their children. 2 of them were at university and helped me extend this project. Last year, I had 92 children who were educated throughout the year. They're here now. They can go to school and learn art at the same time. The education I give doesn't teach them to become an artist. We just promote the talent they have inside. Then they will produce something of value for themselves and go on along with confidence afterwards.
From Madagascar to Gaza. After the break, we are going to visit 2 artists who refuse to stop creating. Don't go away.